But I'm smarter than that, Your Honor, because I found video on her phone of them having sex at the end of the argument.
Don't matter, I'm not with neither one of them. I can do what I want.
I mean, I would love to be his father, but them two, they perfect for each other, because they both liars.
In this situation, the plaintiff, Ms. Van Mitra, told the judge that she wanted to prove to the defendant, Mr. Watkins, that he was the father of her child. She hoped that the results would prove that he was the father and that she could save her relationship. The case began like this.
Ms. Van Meter, after a recent medical scare, you realized it is imperative that you prove to the defendant that he is the biological father of your 3-year-old son, DeCedre. So you can put his name on the birth certificate. You are hopeful today's results will help save your family.
We are not in a relationship. We just live together at the moment.
Okay.
We broke up because of the simple fact that I cheated.
Is there a reason he is still in the relationship? I guess we'll find out. Despite the fact that she cheated, Mr. Watkins was nothing short of a good father to the child. He claimed he grew up without a father and was not going to let the child go through the same thing.
Also, I play father to her other child that doesn't have a father in her life, so I'm taking care of the whole crew.
And I understand that and I respect that, but it's just like, he makes me feel like it's a financial thing of why he has stayed, and it's not, because we're going to be okay. And I mean, I think he can still father my child even if he's outside of the house.
So, Mr. Watkins, what I want to understand from you is it's bigger than I'm just staying in the house because this child needs to have a father.
Right.
Moving on, the judge decided to ask Mr. Watkins how everything went down the drain and how he found out that Ms. Van Mitra had cheated on him. Trust me, the explanation he gave left everyone in the courtroom speechless. Even the judge wasn't expecting it.
Well, I saw her on the couch texting, but I can clearly see what she's doing. She's texting and deleting messages. And she's like, oh, I was just talking to my friend. What you deleting messages for? Then she pretty much was arguing about it, the fact of what she was saying, and I was like, you wasn't saying that because you deleted them. So I left, just cool down, because I don't like sticking around arguing about nothing. So I was coming back. One of her family picked me up and told me that they saw her outside.
Wow, she doesn't even deny it. Someone needs to give her an ass whooping, trust me. Here is another mind-blowing revelation. Ms. Van Mitter had already told Mr. Watkins about the man she had slept with, claiming he was just a friend. What she left out was that the friend was her ex-boyfriend.
You said it was a friend, right? But that person that you claimed to be as your friend was the person that you said that you dated a while back.
A long time ago.
So it was never a friend. So you was on the phone with your ex texting, deleting
But see, this is the part that always happens like this, because it's always that okie doke where it's like, it's just my friend. And that's why in this courtroom, we always ask, have you ever been intimate with that person?
For some reason, I'm just not buying Ms. Van Meter's story. After a week of her sexual encounter with the other guy, she finds out she is pregnant. She then went on to tell the judge that she could recall using protection while kicking it in bed. Mr. Watkins told the judge that it was a cap.
Mr. Watkins, you seem like you don't believe that.
She didn't use it. She told me she didn't use it. And then she told me she did use it. She said she didn't remember. Then she said she didn't. Then she did. Then she said she did. So there you see where my doubts come from. I don't really have a bond with him. Like, I love him, but every time I see him, I just see him the same way I see her daughter. Is, you know, those are her kids. So I just see him as just cute kid. He's cute.
You honestly can't blame Mr. Watkins for feeling that way. He might love the kid, but that doubt just can't disappear into the wind. Ms. Van Meter told the judge that after he found out that she had cheated on him, she told him that he didn't have to stay. But for some reason, he decided to be there for the kids.
Yeah, and
surrounding the timeline is real.
And I know that, and I told him that, and I respected that, and I told him he didn't have to stay. He has chose to stay. He was there during the whole birth. He was there. He cut my son's umbilical cord.
But Ms. Van Meter, have you ever told the other guy that he potentially was DeCedre's biological father?
I ran into him when my son was 3 months old, and he asked me if I ever found out if my son was his or not, and I told him that I did.
She lied to the other guy because she wanted Mr. Watkins to be the father of her child. Wow. Of course, the judge talked some sense into her head. In trying to defend herself, she said she did what she did because she loved him and wanted the relationship to work.
Because I love him and I do want our relationship to work. It's not like that I don't care if he leaves or not, because it would hurt me. It really would. I do love him and I care about him, but I don't want him to feel like he's trapped.
So the truth is, you do want your relationship to work.
Yes, I do.
And you do want him to be the father of of your child, not just in deed, right?
Yeah.
But in name as well.
Yes.
In biology.
Wonderful speech, but it does not erase the fact that the child has 2 possible fathers. Anyway, the only way out of this cheating scandal was to reveal the DNA results. Is the ex-boyfriend the father, or is Mr. Watkins the father?
Mr. Watkins, you are the father.
That's my boy right there. No wonder he's so damn bad.
That's funny. I've never heard that. But Mr. Watkins, I'm so glad DeCedre will have his daddy in his life, and you will be able to be there, and most importantly, be able to break the generational curse that you spoke about when you first began to testify in this courtroom.
Ms. Bryson admits to cheating on Mr. McCarroll, but she says it does not matter since he is the biological father of her 18-month-old son. But Mr. McCarroll says he does not believe that since he knows for sure that Ms. Bryson cheated on him with some other man. This was how the case began.
Ms. Bryson, what is the nature of your relationship? You're separated?
Yes, ma'am. We're currently separated.
Are you working to get it back on track? Where are you all at in this?
We're not working on getting anything back in track because Mr. McCarroll, he has whorish ways.
Wow.
And he wants me to be a whore like he is, and I'm not that type of person.
Mr. McCarroll, you want her to be a whore like you are?
No, Your Honor. I have no idea where Miss Bryson gets that from.
So, Ms. Bryson accuses Mr. McCarroll of being nothing but a dirty cheat right out of the gate. But Mr. McCarroll waves all of that off and says he really worked hard for his life not to get to this point, but somehow he is here. What does he even mean by that? Let us see.
How did you see all of it coming, and what is it?
This situation where we got another beautiful young black woman that don't know who her kids' fathers is, that's steady.
Oh, you're a savior now.
I'm not a savior.
He think
no,
he is.
I'm not a savior, but I could have avoided this situation.
How could you have avoided that?
I could have avoided this by working and going to school and trying to make a better way for her.
And every time he worked.
And hold on.
Okay, it seems like these guys have a lot of problems that even 1,000 Lauren Lakes cannot solve. And about the case of the book, well, the real story, as Mr. McCarroll says, will shock you.
I was reading, I believe it was Rick James' autobiography some years ago. As you could imagine, that is a very interesting book.
I bet it was.
Yeah, she upstairs with the baby. I'm downstairs because I'm trying to read. The baby crying and whatnot.
I heard.
Hold on. Let him finish the story.
I'm reading the book. She come downstairs huffing and puffing. I've been downstairs too long. I'm too quiet. I'm reading the book.
Whoa, this is wild. What is more insane is that when Ms. Bryson conceived her baby, they were separated. But Mr. McCarroll still came around, and since he did not know how to keep his hands to himself, they would eventually sleep together. And one day, Miss Bryson got pregnant. Easy peasy.
Mr. McCarroll came over and touched you, and then you got pregnant.
That's
Right?
I braided.
Thank you.
No,
Takes two.
No, Your Honor,
Yeah.
I braided his hair. He came over. I asked the guy that I was in a relationship with, could I do his hair? He said yes. He came over and was flirting on me, touching on me. Every time we speak on the phone, I try to call and let him talk to the kids. Every time that we speak on the phone,
Every
he always flirts. I never ever cheated on him when we were together.
What? But you are the one cheating on other people, Ms. Bryson. No one is making you look like the bad guy. You just sound like one because you are doing horrible things. But make no mistake, Ms. Bryson really loves this man. She loves him too much.
In the past, I have cheated on guys with him because, like I said, I love him. But when I got pregnant with him, I was with someone and I broke up with him, and I told the other guy why I was breaking up with him, because I didn't want to hurt his feelings.
And I can see that really just upsets you.
I wanted to have a family with him. I wanted to get married to him. Like I said, I've been with him since I was 18. I love him. Any man that I ever talked to know that I love him, okay? I wanted to have a son.
That is so sad. After this, Ms. Bryson pulls out her trusty conception calendar, and it shows that Mr. McCarroll did sleep with her during her conception period. Anyway, there is one other guy who could be a potential father in this mix. Let us see what he has to say.
Do you believe you are Xylan's biological father?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Why?
Because at the same time she was with me, she was messing around with him. And lost my train of thought just thinking about the stuff.
It makes you upset.
Yeah, because I found out that she was messing around. So she told me she was 99% sure that he was the father, and it's a possibility that I could be.
Did you know she was still sleeping with Mr. McCarroll when she was with you?
No.
That is wild. Do you know what could be even crazier? If it turns out that 9 of these men are the fathers, well, it is time to finally find out the truth. Let us see what the DNA test results have to say about all of this.
Mr. Perkins, you are not the father. Mr. McCarroll, you are not the father.
Case closed. I ain't got no more to say. Say no more. Man.
Well, obviously, my calendar was wrong. And my ultrasounds, I showed both of them my ultrasounds. Everything said I got pregnant in April. That's what I was worried about. So I obviously got pregnant in May.
Is Zylan McCarroll's father? Do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Humphreys says that Mr. Mosley, who was sleeping with her while separated from his baby mother, is the father of her 2-month-old child. But Mr. Mosley says that is impossible because he knows that Ms. Humphreys was also sleeping with her ex-boyfriend while she was with him. It all began like this.
Ms. Robinson been together for a minute, had rocky ups and downs in our relationship. If this is our child, then you know, she gonna leave me and I don't want her to leave me.
Were you in a sexual relationship with Miss Humphreys?
Yes, I was.
Was it during the window of conception when Tyler was conceived?
No.
It
Your
was
Honor.
not, in your estimation.
No, Your Honor.
Is that true, Miss Humphreys?
No, Your Honor, it was. Because at the time when I got conceived, we were sexual. That was like the end of August, beginning of September.
You want to know why Ms. Humphreys is so sure? Well, she says that she was sleeping a lot more with Mr. Mosley during that time. As we all know, it does not take one time to get pregnant. Instead, your body actually calculates how many times you sleep with someone and then gets pregnant based on that data.
I mean, he could be, but I was more sexual, Mr. Mosley.
You were having more sex with him?
Yeah.
But you do understand it only takes one?
Right.
All right, Mr. Mosley, do the dates add up in your mind as she says she was intimate with you at the end of August, beginning of September? Is that true?
Your Honor, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't even paying attention. I was there for the sex. So I don't know. You know, I just did it.
Okay.
This too much talking for me.
Yeah, how many fathers have said that in paternity court for kids that ended up being theirs? Trust me, it has happened more times than you care to admit. The good thing about Mr. Mosley is that he has an excuse for everything. When Judge Lauren asked him why he was having unprotected intercourse, here is what he said.
At the same time, well, all I can say is this. I feel like it's her fault too, Your Honor. She should never broke up with me. She should never broke up with me. If she never broke up with me, I would never did what I did.
Also, it's Miss Robinson's fault.
Hey.
Miss Robinson, this is all on you. I'd like to hear from you. So Mr. Mosley says this is all your fault.
No,
This would not be happening if you had not left him, so you can blame yourself.
No, this is his fault. This is his fault, and this is her fault.
Oh, so there is extra drama between Ms. Robinson here and Ms. Humphreys. Ms. Robinson says she knows that Mr. Mosley had women on the side, but Ms. Humphreys really wanted to get under her skin, so she brought her into this.
They have 2 children together. So you don't think she has a reason to be mad?
No, I don't.
And why?
Because she knew about this.
You felt like
I
she
did
knew?
not.
Yes, you did.
Did not.
I wouldn't be sitting up here saying.
Wait a minute, Miss Humphreys. You
She
said
did.
she knew about your relationship?
Yes, she did. It's on Facebook. She blocked me on Facebook. Like,
She plays both men. That's what she's doing.
okay.
She's
Why you
playing
mad?
She's playing both sides.
Why is
She
this
telling
your
one man,
business?
Wow, it seems there is a lot of bad blood between these two, and they are both really just fighting for Mr. Mosley. Anyway, the evidence Ms. Thompson submits is a post by Ms. Humphreys saying that Mr. Mosley was not her child's father. This means Mr. Mosley is not sleeping with Ms. Humphreys right now, right? Well, wrong.
So, Miss Humphreys, what is the nature of your relationship with Mr. Mosley now?
We still sexual. We still, like, we friends.
Still having
Already.
sex
Why
with
you
Mr.
mad?
Mosley now.
Yes.
But Mr. Mosley, I can see by the look on your face that she's telling the truth.
She telling the truth.
So you still have sex with Miss Humphreys?
I have, yeah.
and still going to continue to once this is done.
Yes.
Yeah, she is Mr. Mosley's special friend, all right? This is so messy, but at least Mr. Mosley has a believable excuse for all of this, right? He must have a reason for being so messy. Well, let us listen to his reason.
Your Honor, I love Tamika, all right? Okay? I'm not in love with her, but I do love her. I used to be in love with her, but like, I kind of drifted off, you know what I'm saying? You know, I never had a father in my life to actually teach me certain things. And I know I shouldn't put this in the picture. You know, my mother taught me characteristics of a man. She never taught me how to be a man. You feel me?
But you making babies and then you denying and you don't want to take care of the ones you have.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Cause I mean, things change. I never know, I might change, but you can't fault me.
And he has got a point. Mr. Mosley is not lying to these women about the way he is gonna operate. So the fact that these women keep jumping in bed with him is actually the problem, nothing else. Anyway, let us talk to the other potential father, in this case, Mr. Cook.
So do you believe you are Tyler's biological father?
To tell you the truth, I do not know. I mean, I would love to be his father, but them two, they perfect for each other, because they both liars.
Yes.
They both liars.
Yes.
They perfect for each other.
I'm a liar and I
They
came
both
for
are
both
liars.
of y'all. I
They
told
perfect,
both of
especially
y'all
him.
from the beginning.
I ain't a liar.
He a liar too.
He's so
Hey, man, I ain't a liar, though. I'm real, bro. I ain't a liar. I tell the truth too much.
The day I went to take the DNA test.
Yeah, Mr. Cook, what is this? Ms. Humphreys tries to walk back her comment about still sleeping with Mr. Mosley, but she can't. Then Mr. Cook says he has always been present as the child's father. And in fact, at the beginning of the pregnancy, Ms. Humphreys told him there was no chance Mr. Mosley was the baby's father.
Did she tell you you were definitely this child's father?
Still to this day, she still would tell me that I'm this child's father.
It was James.
But my thing is, I don't know.
So wait, Miss Humphreys, are you telling him that he's the child's father? And you're telling Mr. Mosley he's the child's father?
Wow.
But I'm the only one that's doing something for the child.
She's not lying now. She's telling the truth.
I'm the only one doing something for the child.
So,
I
Mr.
keep
Humphreys,
telling
why
more
are
than
you?
her.
Why is that your approach?
Well, at least honesty is the best policy. Hopefully she is telling the truth, and the DNA test returns one of these men as her child's father. The DNA test results are here, and it is time to read them out.
It has been determined by this court. His biological father is Mr. Cook.
Good.
Congratulations, Mr. Cook.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does it feel good to finally know for sure?
Mm-hmm.
And now you know that everything you've done for this child has not been in vain?
Ms. Bruton here admitted to sleeping with both her boyfriend and ex-boyfriend, and now they both want to be the baby daddy. And that got hot. Judge Lauren Lake as mad as you've ever seen her, and here is how it all began.
Ms. Bruton, you claim to be 100% positive that Mr. Martin is not your son's biological father because your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Richardson, is.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say today's DNA test will allow you to get rid of Mr. Martin and to finally reconcile your relationship with Mr. Richardson. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martin, you say Ms. Bruton led you to believe that you had fathered her 7-month-old son, Logan.
For some reason, Ms. Bruton seems to be quite sure that her boyfriend is the father of her baby. But the ex-boyfriend wasn't going to let Ms. Bruton sell that story to the judge. He claimed he remembered being intimate with her around the window of conception. He started by saying this.
I know I had unprotected sex around the time that she conceived. She might say I didn't have it as many times she said I did, but I know it's a fact.
No.
And it's 99.7%
No, Your Honor.
that it is mine.
No, Your Honor. We only had unprotected sex twice.
It was 3 at her apartment, 2 at her family member house, 1 at my house, and 1 in the car.
Now, that's a really harsh thing to do, Ms. Bruton. She made him happy about the pregnancy and then pulled a fast one on him by vanishing into the air. But here is the crazy thing. Ms. Bruton was not sure who the father of her child could be. So what did she do? She decided to tell both of them that they could both be the father of the child.
I wasn't for sure who was the father because I slept with both of them around the same time.
Okay, so you do admit his testimony is true.
Yes.
Take me back. I want to understand this relationship. So how do you get to the point where you're in the relationship with Mr. Richardson, but you're having sex unprotected with Mr. Martin?
Okay, me and Mr. Richardson, we was having our ups and downs in our relationship.
There's no denying it now. Ms. Bruton was the one who stepped out of line in the relationship, but there's more truth to be told. Apparently, Mr. Martin wasn't being so truthful with his side of the story. The judge asked him if he wanted to be in a relationship with Ms. Bruton, and here's what he had to say.
Go-to guy, Mr. Martin, or did you think you were in a relationship?
Nah, I was just the go-to guy.
So you knew that?
Yeah, I knew that. I really wanted me a child at the time, so I was trying to get her pregnant, and I did tell her that.
You were trying to get somebody
trying to get
pregnant that you
pregnant.
didn't want to be in a relationship
Yeah,
with?
but I didn't want to be in a relationship with her.
But you were trying to get her pregnant?
Yes, John.
One thing is for sure, Mr. Martin just got on Judge Lauren's nerves. The window of conception hits the table, and both Ms. Bruton and Mr. Martin can't seem to agree on the days they were intimate with each other. Ms. Bruton claimed it was a certain date, while baby daddy claimed she wasn't telling the truth.
You're disputing those days?
Yeah, yes,
When
yes.
do you say you were intimate?
Before the 7th. It was like on the 5th, maybe. That was the first time.
So you're saying you were intimate with her before and after this date of conception?
Yeah,
well, let's just be certain. What she has already testified to puts you in the window of conception, regardless.
Sneaky little Ms. Bruton. She cheated and kept it a secret from her boyfriend? Wow. Could it get any worse? Anyway, Ms. Bruton claimed that it was her boyfriend who was by her side throughout the pregnancy. She claimed Mr. Martin was a pain in her ass, and all he tried tried to do was ruin her relationship with her boyfriend.
Who stepped up for you during this pregnancy?
Mr. Richardson.
Really?
Yes, I was trying my best to avoid Mr. Martin because he's very messy, trying to break up me and Mr. Richardson's relationship.
But when you told him he was a potential father,
yes.
Wait, Mr. Martin, did you try to be there? Were you trying to go to
Yeah, he tried.
At least she isn't denying shutting Mr. Martin out of the picture. But it gets tricky. Ms. Bruton allowed her boyfriend to sign the birth certificate because she wanted him to be the father, or as she put it, she believed and hoped he was the father.
I wanted Mr. Richardson to know all of that. I didn't want Mr. Martin to know none of that because I don't want him to be Logan's father.
So you allowed Mr. Richardson to sign the birth certificate because you think he's the father or because you hope he's the father?
I think he's the father and I'm hoping he's the father.
Both.
Well, the case is not going to get any messier than this. Judge Lauren isn't going to sit around and watch these guys argue all day. The only way out of this mess is to reveal the DNA results. Is Mr. Martin going to end up being the father of the child?
Mr. Richardson, you are not the father.
What?
Mr. Martin.
I told you.
What?
I told you.
You are the father.
I told you. I knew what it was.
No, that is not possible.
I knew this.
I want to read that.
Mr. Martin, you are the father.
No, that is not possible.
We need